I want to do this.
Do it.
Because now that, again, we're this week has moved on, and certainly Ben Johnson, I think, helped the healing process, helped the coping mechanisms with Sunday. So now that Ben Johnson's back, and Aaron Glenn will be back, and obviously Dan Campbell will be back. And now I know that the offseason's in front of us, but D-Mac, is it that time to have the discussion then? Because and I'll just lead it this way. Should the Lions expect a Super Bowl? And D-Mac, I'll go first on this one. Because I was one, as Sunday happened, when I woke up Sunday, I wasn't as nervous as I thought I was going to be, because there wasn't this live or die mantra over the game. There wasn't for me the nerves that probably Lamar Jackson or Ravens fans had, or that 49ers fans had dealing with the game, because we're new on the block. And by all accounts, it looks like we're built to last. But I will, however, say this. That helped me cope a little bit Sunday. But now we went there, we learned the lesson, and now it's now it's go time. We're going now. And I say yes. The expectation is Super Bowl starting now. Starting now is the window, right? Do we feel like they maybe overachieved a little bit last year? Possibly. You could say that. But now there's no doubts. Now it's time to go. Now it's Super Bowl time window. The window is open. We are open for business. And here we go. Within 5 years, they need to cash this in. Period. End of story.
So this is more of a clumping of now it's Super Bowl. Because I think if you clump that into not specifically this next year or the year after, whatever, but if you're putting a time in this time period, Super Bowl is the finish line. I agree with you. I looked at it as next year. How do you build? And you got to remember, you're going to play a first place schedule. If you look at the teams and where you're going to play, it's not going to be easy. The Bears are going to be better. The Packers are going to be better, but I still expect your dominance. I think that if you're going to look short term, because I agree with you, long term, and I'd even say on the 4-year plan, right? Not even the 5-year plan, the 4-year plan, because I believe, looking at everybody else, the window could be longer, but I'm going to be safe with that. But in this next year, like we said this year, of winning a playoff game and hosting a home playoff game, winning your division, I think the short-term goal is the number 1 seed, so that you play the home games at home and get back. If you don't have a number 1 seed, obviously getting back to the NFC Championship game, and we know that the football has to be played. I like your long-term goals. What do maybe this was in therapy and stuff like this, where they said you make your short-term and your mid-term and your long-term goals. I think this is a good long-term goal. That could come to fruition sooner than later. If you're going to say next year Super Bowl or bust,
that's aggressive.
To me, that's aggressive. I think that, 3-4 years, you could put that bigger window. If you wanted to put some pressure on them to control their own destiny, go out and win the number 1 seed, so you host all the games. And
that's really it, D-Mac. That's what I want to work on too, because the road is infinitely easier if you're the number 1 seed. And to put that on there too, remember this, guys, and I want everyone to really remember this. Write it down, reference this. The road is hard. You don't just linearly progress. You don't say, oh, well, they went to the NFC Championship game. Next year you go to the Super Bowl. Then the year after that you win the Super Bowl. That's the timeline. There's heartbreak involved along the way.
Do people understand the schedule? Do people understand you can get better and have a worse record?
And that certainly could be the case.
Like the reality of what not only you're gonna get better. We're gonna be a better team, but other teams are gonna be better. But like the teams and the places that we have to play on the road, in your in and out of your division and stuff like that, are some of the top teams, right? We played, whereas we took advantage this year and got to the NFC Championship playing a schedule that a non-playoff team played. Now you're a playoff team, a team that has gotten far, so you got to play with the big boys. I like it, right? Because I think that'll test you more, get you road tested and ready for those moments, for those, and I mean that for players and for coaches. So it's all part of the learning experience, but I don't think that's out of hand at all.
WoodwardSports.com and chat thread. Chuck, Neal, are you ready to say Super Bowl or bust next year? Michigan fan wants to know if you're willing to go there yet. Well, if you give them 9 home games and they get to play the Falcons 8 of those 9 home games. And what? And they only got to play 4 road games. What? Then I'll say that. Yeah, sure. Absolutely, I'll say that. And then, like, in the playoffs, they get to play the Falcons again in their first playoff game. And then they have...
How are they going to play them again in the second game?
Yeah,
they got relegated and won the loser bracket and came back up?
No, but like, it ties into this, and I know that's what everybody's going to say, and I lost it earlier. Somebody had the message of, well, you got to give Aaron Glenn a number 1 cornerback. Guys, tell me the path right now of getting a number 1 cornerback. Tell me the path. That it's just assumed that it's going to happen. Flannel, what's the path to get a number 1 cornerback right now?
Sign Jalen Johnson or L'Jarius Sneed.
Because
that's probably it.
Is Sneed the number 1 cornerback on his own team?
Yeah, him and McDuffie are kind of 1A. But yeah, he played at quarterback number 1 level. He's better than anything we have.
Okay, so that's 2 guys.
Yeah,
right.
That's probably it.
So no one else in football wants those guys, including their own teams.
Of course, sure. Yeah, I mean, of course they do.
You see what I'm saying here? Like, everyone just assumes that this is fantasy football, and you're going to draft them in the draft.
I guess the other
Nate Wiggins.
Hey, Nate Wiggins or Cooper DeJean. But I guess if there's another semi-realistic option, is Emmanuel Mosley ever going to be back healthy and be what he was? And he might not even be number 1.
Right, but now we're in the land of what if.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now we're in the land of we got to catch a break again.
Sure.
I want to prime everybody. This isn't your fantasy football draft. There are competition for everybody's services. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where we are right now. And everyone's fired. Steven Syrett, trade up for Kool-Aid. Okay, again, guys, everybody calm down for a minute here. Because say they do that. So you mean to tell me that the end of next January, you're at San Francisco playing them, and you're the 2 seed and they're the 1 seed, and you're playing San Francisco, and a rookie cornerback is gonna set you free.
Yes.
Against Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk,
Well,
the rookie cornerback.
A couple years
Holmes
ago, if I
drafted.
was the Jets and you had Sauce Gardner over there, then yes, I'd be confident. So,
But you're not picking 2 or 3.
I get it.
Brad Holmes drafts him to bring him in to be the number 1 quarterback. I trust it. You look at guys like that have done it so far since they've been brought in. You bring up Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley, even Brian Branch, Brad Holmes' other pick that he wanted last year.
Branch had his rough patches this year.
Devon Witherspoon was the guy Brad Holmes wanted. He looks like he could possibly win Rookie of the Year.
He was a 6th pick, right?
Yeah, and so
like all the guys you listed, man, were top 10 dudes.
yeah, it's fair, but I have faith.
No, I have faith in him, obviously. But to say you're going to draft a guy in the high 20s and you're going to drop him in there and he's going to be a dominant force, that's a stretch, man.
That's a good point.
It's a stretch. I want people to be prepared. There's going to be heartbreak I venture to guess there'll be heartbreak along the way before there's a Super Bowl championship.
From my experience,
Right, D-Mac?
We already had heartbreak.
This
Twice
isn't the worst.
Season.
We got over this pretty.
How is
We're
the 40?
getting over this pretty easy. And yes, this stings and it was that close, but we don't realize how close because we can still feel that we're right there. It isn't until if something else happens that we feel we're further away.